Happy Monday, July 15th, 2024. Things are heating up out there, okay? I know you guys feel it. There's a lot of heat going on, especially in the central and southeastern U.S. Things are about to change, okay? We've got a big pattern flip coming, but in the near term, things are heating up. But I tell you, it's not heating up. Activity, at least, is not heating up out here in the tropics. We really started off with a bang with Hurricane Beryl, and now we've got really nothing going on. Look at the calm Atlantic Ocean here. Thankfully, we don't have any tropical systems to watch right now, which is great. On July 15th, we don't want anything to watch. Unfortunately, I do think that's going to change in the future. Right there's the latest from the National Hurricane Center. Over the next 7 days, we've got nothing to worry about, okay? So we're going to keep an eye on this for you. If something pops up, this will be where you hear about it. But for now, our focus has to come over here to the mainland, where we've got significant severe weather possible today. We've got a 30% chance of severe damaging winds in excess of 75 miles per hour for a large area. About 10 or 11 million people are under the gun for maybe a potential derecho today. So make sure you are prepared for damaging winds, hail, even a little bit of a tornado threat as well up there in the enhanced risk area. That includes Rockford and Aurora, Illinois. Here's that 30% significant wind risk. You can see the hatched area there indicating that we've got a 10% or greater, in this case a 30% probability of seeing those 75 mile per hour wind gusts within 25 miles of any given point in that hatched zone. Chicago, you guys are in the line of fire for that. The tornado threat exists, but it's not high, okay? We've got a 5% tornado probability. I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple tornadoes, but that's not going to be the main threat today. As we go into tomorrow, the severe weather could continue, especially over there in portions of the interior Northeast, over into northern portions of the Appalachian Mountains, western portions of Pennsylvania, up there in eastern portions of Ohio, all the way up into the upstate New York area. You guys could see some damaging winds, a little bit more of a hail threat, and maybe a little tornado threat as well over in West Kansas tomorrow. And it doesn't stop there. We've got more severe weather possible on the day 3 outlook. This is July 17th. Nothing crazy right now, but definitely some big time thunderstorms possible in the Northeast and then back over towards the Front Range. Okay, let's take a look at what the radar could look like as we go through the day today to watch our potential derecho. We're not sure it's going to be that, but I think that this is going to be a huge damaging wind event for portions of the upper Midwest especially. But around 4 p.m. today Eastern, 3 Central, we are going to have some storms over here in New York we're going to have to keep an eye on, but the big time threat for severe weather really starts to explode there around 5 or 6 Eastern in eastern portions of Iowa. And this is where I think we have the best chance of seeing some isolated tornadoes. But very quickly, this turns into an organized damaging wind event, widespread damaging winds possible here around 8 p.m. From areas just west of Chicago all the way back down towards the tri-state area between Missouri, Illinois, and Iowa there. This won't quite make it all the way down to St. Louis, but around 9 p.m., 8 Central, we are going to see this slam right into Chicago, once again bringing damaging winds maybe in excess of 75 miles per hour. Those winds are going to continue to cause problems all the way over into central portions of Indiana, south central portions of Illinois, and a little bit into central Michigan as well. But things are going to start to die off after the midnight time period. I really do think that we're not going to see much of anything, especially in terms of damaging winds at 2 a.m., for example, whenever these things do eventually get to Detroit. Now, the severe weather risk is still there. I think we're going to see some gusts, but it's not going to be like what it was in Chicago. And then as we go farther into the future, things really start to die out. And then we might see a little resparking of activity as we go into the next day, which is why we've got that continued, outlook for severe weather. So there's the full progression of our damaging wind system tonight, leading to some, strong storms, maybe a little bit more of a flash flooding risk down there towards St. Louis as we go into the early morning hours tomorrow. But the wind threat will mostly be contained to that enhanced risk area. So looking even farther into the future, what's next? This right here is the thing that's causing all of our clusters of storms to come down through the north central portion of the U.S. into the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley. That is the feature that we're going to be dealing with probably until Wednesday or Thursday, and then it really starts to fall apart, and we start to see a little bit more troughing here. So cool air is going to be more successfully making it down into portions portions of the eastern United States. That's going to allow for this ridge over here in the west to get much bigger. Things are going to get really hot over there in the west portion of the U.S. California, Arizona, Utah, that area is going to be blazing hot. And then really, as we go farther into the future, there's going to be this huge lobe of cooler air trying to settle into the northeastern portion of the U.S. up there in eastern Canada. And there's just going to be some of that tries to meander and settle over here in the central southeastern U.S. as well. This is going to lead to it's going to feel cold compared to what we have been seeing. It's going to be much cooler than average over here in this portion of the U.S. as that trough tries to settle in, and the ridge over here in the west just continues to dominate. And then we're probably going to be locked in that kind of pattern all the way up until, Wednesday of next week. Here we are, Wednesday, July 24th. Things are looking pretty much the same. Now, one thing that is going to happen is, the trough is going to allow for all of this moisture in the Gulf of Mexico to kind of ride up the southeastern side of it like this. So it'll probably lead to a lot of showers and thunderstorms and maybe some ongoing flooding concerns for the southeastern portion of the U.S. Here's a look at those temperature anomalies. Watch what happens as that trough settles in. The blues indicate where we're going to be below average, right? So honestly, this is going to be nice. For a lot of us who are tired of the heat, this is going to be really nice. July 18th. Boy, a lot of Texas is going to be close to 10 degrees below average. Once again, they stagnate. We're going to have some stagnant, cooler air sticking with us in the central and most of the eastern U.S. all the way through July 24th, it seems. Might get significantly cooler than average as we go towards Wednesday of next week. Some places I see there getting close to 20 degrees below average in Texas and Oklahoma. And then, of course, we've got the huge ridge over here keeping things very hot, maybe close to 20 to 30 degrees above average up there in Montana, well into Canada as well. And like I was saying, the interaction of this trough is going to keep areas inside of it mostly dry, but all along the edges, we're going to see, scattered chances of showers and thunderstorms, probably a little bit more concentrated down here in the south and east. I don't expect much severe weather down here, but lots of rain. On and off chances of severe weather, maybe even significant severe weather in terms of hail are going to be possible along the front range as all of this heat kind of combines with the cooler air trying to come in from the north and east. But yeah, watch the weather pattern as we go all the way forward here. Things stay quite dry up here. That towards the end, we start to see a resurgence of moisture back north. But yeah, you can see the trough is kind of acting as a shield here for the majority of that period. Climate Prediction Center is on board here. The 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook shows an area of much below average temperatures. Between 6 days from now and 10 days from now, we expect it to be very much cooler than average down here in portions of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. But this extends from Mexico all the way up to Lake Erie. And then you can see the huge area of above average temperatures expected in the west as well, especially in Montana. And then if we look at the total predicted rainfall amounts over the next 7 days, you can see once again, just like we were saying there, there's going to be an area of interest or a targeted area of moisture and rainfall down here in the southeast. It looks like a lot of that's going to happen in the Carolinas. Some of these places could get 5 or 6 inches of rain over the next 6 or 7 days. If that happens in a short period of time, like if you get most of that rain on a Wednesday and it's not just like 1 inch per day, this will lead to some flash flooding problems. And even if it is just 1 inch per day, 7 inches of rain over the course of a week could cause some general flooding problems as well. So if you live near a creek, stream, or a river, make sure you're keeping an eye on the levels there. And that's pretty much all of the weather talk I have for you today. Thank you guys for watching. And by the way, what do you guys think about our new graphics? We're working really hard on migrating all of the stuff that we show over to this format that fills the whole screen, and we're not showing like little clips of, stuff from here and stuff from there. I think it goes along with what we do here, and it looks better, for presentation purposes. The SPC outlooks come from the Storm Prediction Center, and this is all, we're going to try to make this all available to you guys on a website or something so you can access it even without these videos. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. We're working on doing satellite imagery and of course, stuff like CPC and SPC outlooks as well. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Ooh.